Hi, it's Katrina! From an ant sting that will make you feel like you've been shot to enormous big cats that can shred you to pieces, here are 10 dangerous animals in the Amazon. Number 10. The bullet ant. The bullet ant is widely known as the insect with the most painful sting, which is often compared to being shot with a bullet, hence its name. It's also commonly called the 24-hour ant in Venezuela because the sting's effects typically wear off after a day. This species inhabits tree bases in Central and South America's tropical forests. At up to 1.2 inches long, it's one of the biggest ants in the world. It has a visible stinger and an oversized mandible, which it uses for latching onto its victims. However, it is called the bullet ant for a reason, because it feels like you got hit by a bullet. Getting stung is traumatic in its own right, simply because of how excruciating it is. The bullet ant's intense sting is 30 times more painful than a honeybee's sting and is often described as electric. An offended ant will repeatedly strike their target over and over, injecting venom that contains a neurotoxin called ponerotoxin, which causes burning, swelling, and uncontrollable shaking, in addition to the unbearable pain. Indigenous people get stung by these ants a dozen or more times during puberty rites and do not suffer long-term effects. Boys as young as 12 must put their hands inside gloves containing bullet ants at least 20 times before they can be considered a man and a warrior. People have put this ant sting to the test on purpose in several documentaries, and it never ends well. Despite their fearsome reputation and top-ranking position on the Schmidt Pain Index, which measures the human pain of insect stings, bullet ants are typically only aggressive when provoked, and their venom is usually only life-threatening to allergic individuals. To stop the pain, you must wait out the 24 hours and maybe have a drink. Number 9. The electric eel. The electric eel is not actually an eel. It's a member of the knifefish family that dwells in Amazonian fresh waters and is named after its frightening ability to generate an electrical charge. It grows from 6 to 8 feet long and weighs as much as 44 pounds. In a video that went viral several years ago, a fisherman recorded an electric eel zapping a caiman and essentially electrocuting the crocodilian to death. Electric eels can release around 600 volts of electricity, which is enough to temporarily incapacitate a human. If this happened in the water, it could easily lead to drowning. Being shocked more than once can cause someone to stop breathing or send them into heart failure. Researchers aren't entirely sure how the electric eel can deliver a sometimes fatal shock without feeling the effect of it themselves, but there are several theories, including that the creature has a built-up resistance to its own charge. It also appears to deliberately channel its electrical powers by triggering its 3 electrocyte-producing organs at whim. Like with several creatures here, an electric eel shock can be fatal to humans, but recorded instances and attacks in general are extremely rare. Not that many people are out swimming and tubing with electric eel. Number 8. Red-bellied piranha. Red-bellied piranhas are named after, as I'm sure you can guess, their red undersides. What their name fails to warn people of is their jaw full of razor-sharp triangular teeth, which enables them to bite down with great force and shearing ability. These fish live in still and moving low-elevation parts of the Amazon River basin, where they grow up to 4 feet long and weigh as much as 4 pounds. This species is considered one of the more dangerous and aggressive piranhas to humans out of the 40 or more species found throughout the region. While many, if not most, piranha species are omnivorous or even herbivorous, often preferring seeds over meat, the red-bellied piranha is best known for attacks on humans. This mostly happens during the dry season because the fish are hungry. Water levels are lower and food is scarce, making them more prone to targeting people, especially those splashing around and making a lot of noise. But even this is rare, and in most cases, red-bellied piranhas don't attack humans. Attacks are usually non-fatal, but can cause damage to the hands, feet, or whatever other body parts the fish decide to take a bite from. Number 7. Brazilian wandering spider. Also called armed spiders or banana spiders, Brazilian wandering spiders belong to the Phonutria genus, which means murderous in Greek. There are 8 species total, which are all found in Brazil, and some of which occasionally dwell in other places, such as Argentina and Costa Rica. They are hairy and up to 2 inches long, with leg spans measuring up to 6 inches. These nocturnal ambush and attack predators favor wandering the forest floor in search of prey and do not build webs. As one of the world's deadliest spiders, their venom can easily kill a human. The Brazilian wandering spider often appears aggressive since they will raise their two front legs when they feel threatened. However, it is usually defensive in nature. Just like other creatures, they respond to threats by first giving a warning for the enemy to get away, or it will bite you if necessary. Of course, it's possible to accidentally trigger a Brazilian wandering spider and receive a dose of its venom containing toxins, proteins, and peptides which attack chemical receptors of the neuromuscular system. Initial bite effects include sweating, burning pain, and goosebumps. Within a half hour, symptoms escalate to vertigo, blurred vision, high or low blood pressure, elevated or decreased heart rate, convulsions, and shock. Men can get painful erections that can lead to impotence. Scientists are currently studying the venom for use in various types of medical treatments. But good news is, spiders usually won't unload their entire venom supply because this makes them vulnerable to predators and less capable of effectively attacking prey. Regardless, people who are bitten by a Brazilian wandering spider should seek medical attention immediately. Number 6. Amazonian giant centipede. Also known as the Peruvian giant yellow-leg centipede, the Amazonian giant centipede lives in tropical and subtropical rainforest habitats throughout the Caribbean and South America. It's one of the world's largest centipedes, growing up to nearly a foot long. While the Amazonian giant centipede is a fast mover and won't hesitate to flee when threatened, it's also capable of being very aggressive, especially in its pursuit for food. It's a carnivore with an indiscriminate diet, feasting on a range of insects and vertebrates including frogs, mice, lizards, snakes, birds, and even bats. This creature seizes prey by using its two sharp forcipules, which are located on its head, to inject its victim with a highly toxic venom and then shred into them. The Amazonian giant centipede's venom easily kills small prey, but is rarely lethal to humans. It is, however, extremely painful, accompanied by symptoms like swelling, pain, redness, chills, fever, nausea, and weakness. Because of the species' reclusive lifestyle, it rarely bites humans, and the only fatal cases involve extenuating circumstances such as bites to the esophagus. Number 5. South American rattlesnake. The South American rattlesnake is a highly venomous pit viper subspecies native to Brazil, where it's responsible for roughly a tenth of all snake envenomations. It's found throughout most of South America and not limited to the Amazon. This slithering serpent is well camouflaged and therefore difficult to spot, and most people are bitten when they unintentionally step on one. An accidental encounter can mean being injected with the snake's myotoxic, neurotoxic, and hemotoxic venom. In other words, the venom destroys tissue, attacks the nervous system, and causes internal bleeding and severe pain. A life-saving antivenom exists, but because people are often bitten far from available medical treatment, several die every year from South American rattlesnake bites. Number 4. The jaguar. As South America's largest big cats, it's no wonder jaguars are considered dangerous. They were once widespread throughout South America and as far north as the southern U.S., but are now endangered and are only found in parts of Central and South America, particularly the Amazon River Basin. Jaguars typically measure between 43 and 75 inches long and weigh up to 250 pounds. With one of the most impressive bite strengths among all big cats, including lions and tigers, a jaguar can easily pierce through a human's bones or crack a sea turtle's shell. In fact, it can more or less effortlessly seize most creatures in its habitat and even prefers large prey, including reptiles and livestock, which speaks to its terrifying strength. Attacks on humans are rare, but often fatal. Yet, as capable as jaguars are of shredding humans, we're more of a threat to them than they are to us, as evidenced by their fragmented and dwindling populations at the hands of deforestation. Jaguars are also killed by fearful farmers and ranchers intent on protecting their livestock. Perhaps the lesson to be gained here is that even the most optimal physique and evolutionary advantages cannot protect an animal from human destruction, even if it could easily take a person out in a one-on-one battle. Number 3. The green anaconda. The green anaconda is the world's largest snake by its sheer weight. It can exceed 29 feet in length and measures up to a foot in diameter, while often weighing more than 550 pounds. This species dwells in the freshwater streams, ponds, marshes, and swamps of the Amazon. It's non-venomous and uses its size and strength to its advantage by constricting its prey, overwhelming their circulatory system in the process and preventing blood from reaching the brain. Another way it kills its victims is by constricting them in the water, causing them to drown. The green anaconda's diet consists of sizable animals, including wild pigs, deer, and even jaguars. This skilled swimmer spends most of its time completely submerged, lurking for unsuspecting victims who approach the water for a drink. While attacks on humans are rare and there are few reported cases, green anacondas are easily capable of greatly harming a person, or worse. There are no verified instances of one actually eating a human, although it could happen since they eat stronger creatures. Luckily, researchers believe that the snakes do not encounter people often enough to consider them desirable prey. Herpetologist Jesus Rivas, who founded the Anaconda Project, pointed out in an interview in 2016 that 2 researchers who were attacked by green anacondas had spent a great deal of time near them, and the snakes were therefore abnormally exposed. The lesson to be learned here? Don't bother a green anaconda, and it probably won't bother you. Number 2. The black caiman. Black caimans are semi-aquatic reptiles of the Alligatoridae family and are distributed throughout much of South America, especially the Amazon basin. They're the largest of 6 Amazon caiman species, with adult males reaching an average length of 13 feet, although there are unconfirmed reports of the specimens measuring up to 20 feet. These massive reptiles, who can easily weigh 1,000 pounds, are not picky eaters. They'll feast on anything from fish to reptiles, rodents, and capybaras, which grow up to 4 feet long. On occasion, they even target deer, dogs, and pigs. Black caimans are responsible for at least a handful of predatory assaults on people throughout South America. They typically only target humans under unusual circumstances, like during seasonal flooding, which brings the species into closer proximity to people. They are also especially aggressive during mating season. As a general rule, it's best to keep as much of a distance from black caimans as possible, as they're plenty strong enough to greatly damage humans, especially small children, although most attacks in the Amazon are against fishermen. As an apex predator, they also lack the fear instincts that cause prey animals to flee from perceived threats. Resulting symptoms of an attack, such as physical trauma, blood loss, and secondary infections, which occur during or after treatment for other infections, can ultimately be fatal. Between January 2008 and October 2013, there were 43 black caiman attacks on humans. Less than 1/5 of them resulted in death. Number 1. Poison dart frog. The vibrantly colored poison dart frog family is comprised of many species which are native to Central and South America. Many spend most of their time on the Amazon floor near freshwater bodies, while others live in trees and practically never come down. They are small, with the largest specimens measuring just 2.4 inches long and brightly colored. Humans may think of them as pretty, but in the natural world, a poison dart frog's vivid shading is meant as a warning that they are poisonous and to stay away. A good rule of thumb is the brighter a poison dart frog is, the more poisonous it is. The most toxic species in the family is the golden poison dart frog, which contains enough poison to kill up to 10 adult humans. Meanwhile, some species and captive specimens aren't toxic at all. Generally speaking, poison dart frogs are poisonous, but not deadly. They gain their toxicity in the wild by consuming insects who eat poisonous plants, such as ants, centipedes, and termites, and the frogs carry this poison in their skin and bodies. Unlike snakes and other venomous animals, who usually have to bite someone for any real damage to occur, it's terrifyingly easy for a poison dart frog to spread its ill effects to other creatures. Lethal or not, the poison dart frog's poison is often very effective, which is why indigenous hunters once used them for making hunting darts. Different frogs' poisons are made up of different chemicals, which is why they vary in their capacity to harm or kill humans and other creatures. Symptoms of coming into contact with the infamous golden poison dart frog include swelling, paralysis, nausea, and perhaps even death, proving that it's best to simply avoid these creatures altogether, regardless of species. Thanks for watching! Which animal was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell if you haven't already. See you next time! Bye!